Hi everybody, it's Coach Debbie. Welcome to Fabulous and 40. I'm so glad that you signed up. You are awesome. Just by taking this proactive step, I think that you are well on your way to looking and feeling your best. And that's not just like some cliche thing, I actually mean it. So as you go through this week one, our focus is nutrition. This is, yes, the hard part of the whole thing. However, this is 90% of the whole thing. So if we try to do everything else that I'm going to share with you weeks 2 through 12, but you ignore week one's nutrition focus, not that much is going to change. You'll get some results, but you won't get optimal results. And I'm trying to help you really thrive so that you feel as good as you did in your 20s and your 30s. And I do think that's possible. So I've kind of got my notes in front of me in case I'm kind of looking around and you're like, what is she doing? She's so spastic. I just have so much to say. Number one, we want to avoid those food sensitivities of gluten, dairy, and soy. And I don't know if there's any more that I had written down. No, I think that's it. Gluten, dairy, and soy, those are just killer. They're going to wipe out our energy. They're going to create brain fog. They're going to create belly bloat. They can cause GI upset. Honestly, there's more problems that can come with it, but we want to avoid that inflammation. Let's dial that down and eat clean. So that does mean you're not going to be having bread and cheese. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's just not optimal. Now that we're in this age category, we simply cannot follow the same way that 20 and 30-year-olds are eating. And that may be upsetting at first, or we can just say, well, now I know how to eat differently and be more effective so that my body actually loses fat and stops being so stubborn. So we're going to focus on high protein and high vegetables. This will be the bulk of our diet. Now, what I'm telling other people in their 20s and 30s is get plenty of fats and get plenty of carbs. For you, however, we're going to limit your complex carbs. And by complex carbs, I do mean the starchy complex carbs. We're going to limit that to one meal a day. When do you eat that one meal a day? Well, that part I can't answer for you. And the reason I can't is it depends on you and a lot of other factors. If you don't sleep well at night, for whatever reason, you're going to have your one starchy carb meal at dinner. You're going to wait. And that goes against a lot of what people are telling you, right? That's what I mostly tell my clients is eat your carbs at the front end of the day before the sun sets. Well, if you have sleep problems, that is not the case. You're going to have your one serving of starchy carbs with your dinner. If you're someone who works out regularly and maybe you sleep just fine, you're going to have that starchy complex carb meal after your workout. So it may be that you're different, that your body is going to allow more grace with carbs and maybe not. It's really tricky to give yourself time to play detective. So I'm sure you're going to have lots of questions and I welcome those on our Facebook group page. What I mean by, let me get my list that is in your email. It's on the floor. Those complex carbs, you're like, what are you talking about? What are carbs? We're not including vegetables. Vegetables you want to eat a ton of. You're aiming for 5 cups a day. So if you're eating 3 to 5 times a day, you want to have about 1 to 1.5 cups of vegetables, which is very doable, right? It seems like a lot, but we really need to think about how can I incorporate vegetables into breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then if you're having snacks, which I say that because not everybody needs 1 or 2 snacks. We're going to be kind of testing that out and navigating what works best for you because each body is so unique and we want to make sure we find your particular sweet spot. So when I'm talking about the complex carbs, I am talking about a 1/2 cup. That's your portion size. If you can kind of eyeball that. Things like sweet potato, things like oats, brown rice, quinoa, beans, hummus, the things that, are just more starchy and kind of that satisfying. We still want carbs, but a much smaller amount. We're going to throw fruit into that complex carb category as well. So if you're kind of like, oh, I make fruit smoothies and then I have fruit in the afternoon, we're really going to limit that. Your smoothies do not have to have fruit in them. You don't have to throw oats in them. And we also want to drastically reduce our fat intake. Yes, we still need fat. Yes, it is satisfying and tasty. However, it's going to carry more calories than protein would. So we want to pick protein over those fats, which will include things like nuts. We really want to limit nuts and not overdo it with avocados and guacamole and using coconut oil like 12 times a day. So hear me now, you still want some, but we have to be selective. And you're going to find this awesome grocery list in your email, and that's going to really help you kind of navigate, like, what is she talking about? And then you'll get your, excuse me for leaving, hi, your nutrition structure and sample meal plan. So it's kind of like, how does this work in real life? Okay. All we're focusing on for this week is nutrition. I'm not willing to discuss the workouts and the exercise aspect just yet because I feel like it can be overload. Our goal with this nutrition is to balance our brain chemistry, right? To fight this inflammation. We're going to drastically reduce our carb intake, shoot that protein and vegetables through the roof. That's going to be most of what we're eating. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. And that's going to be okay. You're not going to get hungry because these are very satisfying. Protein is very satisfying. The fiber in vegetables is very satisfying. And you want to make sure, of course, you're getting enough water. So let me see if there's anything else I wanted to tell you, because everything is so well played out into our email. I'm looking at my notes. And we're just briefly going to touch on a little bit of estrogen and insulin. So two very important hormones. We'll definitely be diving in much deeper into these two hormones. So if it's kind of confusing right now, just know that for now, hormones are messengers, and we'll dive into that deeper as we go through this 12-week journey. So I encourage you, always open the emails. Please use our Facebook group for interaction. Everyone in our Facebook group is not getting what you're getting, right? This is very public, and I encourage everybody to interact, but we need community. It's just you're getting like the 411. You're getting all the information that you need, and you're learning how to do things smarter and more effectively without wasting your time. So let's stop spinning our wheels and be like, okay, we got this. So here's what I want you to do. Here's your assignment that I've sent to you by email. You're going to start your food journal right now. I want to know everything you eat. If you can give a general time frame, even if you just say morning, maybe you want to say 6:35 in the morning. And I want to hear, well, what's on the plate? Or what did you sneak that you wish you hadn't? And feel free to give me any notes of, yes, I ate 3 brownies, but I really wanted to eat 6. That helps me. Or, yes, I'm having PMS. I exercised today. I am dehydrated. I have family visiting. Whatever it looks like for you to help me see a snapshot in just 1 or 2 pages. I don't need to know how many tablespoons of dressing you use. That is not necessary. Keep it really simple and basic. And I'm going to look for some different patterns and give you feedback. So you're going to email me, or if you want to use Facebook Messenger, you can send it to me as well. I will ask that you're patient with me because it's going to take me several hours to get through all of them since we have so many girls that are awesome and signed up for this program. So I want to make sure that I give you my best and really thoroughly go through and kind of hash this out. So now that you know the structure of how you should eat based on what I'm sending you and sharing in this video, it will give you a better grip on like, what do I do? We love being doers as women, and this is really going to get it done. I think you're going to very quickly start seeing results. So make sure that you have a journal that you set aside strictly for our Fabulous in 40 program to track your questions, your thoughts, your wins, your hurdles, everything that's going on, so you can keep it in one place. Because if you could see my office right now, what's in front of me, I've got like 45 stacks of papers, and that is not effective. So don't be like me, be organized. Let's see, do you have other questions? Do I have other things that I've put in my email for you? I think that's everything. I know this was really long, of over 9 minutes, so thank you for joining me. Let's do this. Bye.